All right, I'm on. Good. Hello, guys. So, I think I skipped last week. I wanted to continue working on this. So the last time we did a trial between Claude and Microsoft Studio, and we actually saw that Claude Fable kind of sucks. Well, not necessarily sucks, but it's definitely not doing what I expected it to do. And what we saw was that Copilot here actually did something that was closer to what I wanted, and it did this thing, which was interesting. So last time we were looking at DORA practices and how it influences OKRs and basically how it influences the work that we do, and this is not bad. So what it finished at the end of the session was actually pretty good. Data flows from delivery capability to operational outcomes to business outcomes, and this is actually the key. We have the practices here, which should give us smaller releases, shorter lead time, higher change reliability, faster recovery from failures, and more experimentations and learning. I would definitely challenge this, because I don't think that doing iterative delivery necessarily gives us more experiments and learning, unless we measure, unless we have telemetry, and unless our products are actually better. But faster DORA and DevOps in general gives us faster feature flow to production, reduced manual handoffs, improved reliability, stability, faster feedback, and better ability to respond on demand. So that is 100% true. Now what you want to see in the customer process is improved step completion, payment success rates, less abandoned applications, shorter time to yes. I think the example that we did with Copilot was a banking example. Then we have shorter time to yes, fewer reschedules, higher digital completion rate, and then in OKRs, the idea is grow the revenue, increase paid subscriptions, increase first voice revenue. First invoice revenue. I think that the example was a telecom app. Let me now see. So it actually generated this roadmap, which I didn't get to go through, but it definitely wasn't exactly what I wanted. It was something that's more static than I wanted. So OKR DORA Agile 18 month 3 scenario model. So agile practices, delivery capability, faster learning, and customer outcomes. Sorry, I'm a little bit sleepy. So grow telecom acquisition revenue by reducing time to yes. Application started. First successful card application. Okay, so this was the business objective. Reduce time to yes. So let's say we have a telecom application. I have a telecom dashboard on my telecom provider, but let's say on their website it would be something like I go there and I actually subscribe, right? So that's how much time does it take from when I want to apply to them until they say, yeah, um, you are scheduled and a crew will be on your doorstep in a matter of 1 day or 2 days. Okay, so the scenarios that I wanted to test were waterfall, hybrid agile, plus waterfall and agile. So this is actually the problem. They are not proof of causation. So what I wanted scenarios where I could, so I wanted actually to look at 3 scenarios, one for waterfall, one for agile, one for hybrid, and depending on the metrics that I change, I wanted to see what are how do the probabilities of success change. So the discussion that I had with Claude, and I had many discussions after that, but the discussions that I had with Claude, it said something which was interesting, which was basically with waterfall you have a 5% chance of achieving your target. With agile you have a 35% chance of achieving your target, which was actually interesting, and I thought, what were the numbers behind that? I didn't go too much in detail with Claude on that, but basically this is what I remember actually happens from a Microsoft study. 1 in 3 features or 1 in 3 applications actually has the desired results. The other 2 things that you do either has negative implications or doesn't move the indicator that you want. So that's the key thing. And what I want is, I want proof of causation. That's actually where Copilot failed me. Needless to say, Fable didn't generate anything for me. It just generated a blank statistic. Okay, DORA metrics are delivery health indicators. They influence learning speed but not independently cause revenue growth. Yeah, that's true to some extent. Use telemetry cohorts, funnel analysis, and controlled experiments. Do not claim causation merely because DORA and revenue improve together. Okay. All baselines, targets, and scenario effects are evented examples requested by the user. No external benchmark data is used. So basically this is kind of it. And what it did, it generated some assumptions. Monthly applications, monthly application growth. So basically it generated the assumption that the growth of the monthly applications will be slightly higher in Agile than in other parts. Same monthly package, baseline conversion would be the same. Target conversion, so this is what we're actually trying to solve for. So the target conversion, and this is an 18-month period. Baseline for time to yes, 72 hours. So basically I think we can create a tougher scenario, like we can get a medium time to yes of 7 days or something, which is going to be like 148 hours, I think. Yeah. No, 168 hours, sorry. Target, so median target, I don't know why it's different. We can ask Copilot. Baseline digital completion and target digital completion, this should be the same. Baseline deployment frequency, this should not be the same. I think I'll do an extreme scenario where waterfall takes 18 months to deliver. Hybrid takes this is deployments per month. Hybrid takes let's do it like this. It takes 12 months to deliver the overall scope of everything. Alright, let me start taking notes here. So monthly application growth, okay, this should be correlated with the number of releases. Okay, the why behind it. So the more releases you do, the faster you can learn. The faster you can learn, the better your results should be. Something like this. So if I've released in a month something, doesn't matter if it's a blank application, it's just a form, then I should be getting conversions. If I haven't released anything, I shouldn't be getting conversions. Target should be the same. Okay, let's make this more challenging. 168 hours PM. All right, I think it's good. I'll try to see if Copilot still has access to this document and see what he can do, or what it can do with the notes that I'm giving it. Baseline digital completion, yes. Target should be the same. Again, it should be the same, but but there's a slower release penalty because people don't learn in waterfall or hybrids, so they don't get the results they expect. Alright, so basically the whole premise is that time to learn is actually really critical for businesses. Alright, these are realistic. Oh, actually, are they realistic for Agile? So these are not realistic for waterfall. For any of them. Waterfall would have 3 releases in the full period. Hybrid may have like 6. I'm just saying, but usually in hybrid environments is the same problem as waterfall. While Agile would have like 4 releases per month. Alright, cool. Lead time for changes is not realistic. Lead time for changes in waterfall should be like 180 days. For waterfall it should be hybrid. It should be what is it? 6 releases, I said. That's once every 3 months, 90 days. 90 days, while Agile would be 7 days. There we go. All right. This is not going to improve over time. We're just going to take them work with the baseline. Alright, baseline change failure rate. The change failure rate in Agile should improve over. Okay, let's say they start on the same. Fair, but CFR should become even lower in Agile at about 2%. Okay, baseline recovery time 24 hours. Okay, this is good. Time recovery. waterfall should be 2 weeks, hybrid 2 weeks, while agile 24 hours. Okay, the reason why I say waterfall should be 2 weeks, hybrid should be 2 weeks, and agile 24 hours is because the risk in waterfall is actually higher. The risk in hybrid is actually higher. We can just say hybrid has just a 1 week penalty here, but in the end it's also bad. While in agile it's 24 hours because you have something that's very, very small and you can just deploy the small things again and again and again. All right, M18 recovery time. This only improves in agile. It doesn't improve in waterfall or hybrid. All right, cool. What else do we have here? First meaningful customer release month. Okay, month 15th, month 7. Okay, recalculate this based on my previous comments on releases. Okay, practice adoption effectiveness. I don't know what this is. All right, let's see what it basically did. 3 scenario executive comparison. Scenario 1, M18 applications, M18 paid revenue, medium time TS hours, cumulative revenue, and first release month. So delivery model changes the assumed timing and frequency of customer feedback. It does not automatically guarantee business performance. Fine. Waterfall concentrates value after a late integrated release. Hybrid releases selected increments while retaining approval and integration gates. Okay. Agile uses small, frequent instrumented releases. Okay. This model links DORA to OKRs through an explicit hypothesis, not a mathematical claim of causation. Replace scenario assumptions using observed evidence. So M8 scenarios, paid, and invoice. There's a practice roadmap. Baseline telemetry, make waiting and conversation visible. Timestamp coverage, reliable baseline, stop debating opinions, expose the system. I don't know what this is. Expose the system. I guess it's document the activity within the system. All right, this is generic AI slop. That's what AI does. It uses words that confuse you rather than give you clarity. Okay, journey and value stream mapping, identify queues, handoffs and rework, queue time coverage, prioritize largest constraint, optimize flow, not local utilization. So one thing that I've started to work on lately, which is actually pretty cool and much more practical than what I used to do even 2 years ago, is focusing on the theory of constraints. So basically, the way you want to improve the way of work is not by, for example, adding Scrum. It's by talking to the people and asking them what is their biggest constraint, and basically focusing on all your energy and all your um, continuous improvement efforts on improving that constraint. So is it the fact that the environments are not good? Is it the fact that we have too many stakeholders? Is it the fact that our roadmap is too unfocused? Is it the fact that we use manual testing? Is it the fact that we are releasing manually when we are doing our releases? What is the factor of constraint? Is it the fact that we don't use test that our software is complex, for example? The let's say the recommendation on complex software is test-driven development, but that's kind of the key. Like, focus on the current system constraint. So what is it that you should be doing that it's actually improving the whole flow? Funnel instrumentation, locate abandonment steps, step completion rate, conversion learning. Okay, fine. Backlog items need observable outcomes. What is this? Okay, so backlog items need to be linked to observable business outcomes, basically. Which is a tough conversation in itself, because people suck at measuring. They do. At least in the companies that I worked in, they do. And I guess there are some good companies out there, but the majority of the companies that I worked for did not do a good job at measuring stuff. Small batches. Okay, small releases reduce risk. Yeah. Customer testing, validate registration and ID flow, task success, lower abandonment. Customer evidence outranks stakeholder certainty. All right. WIP limits, reduce simultaneous work and queues, work age, queue time, faster time to yes. Starting less enables finish sooner. So basically, parallel work increases the time we learn about the customer's behavior. That's actually the point. Okay, shorten task pass, more reliability, quality gates, enable speed. This is not a final gate. Cross-functional team, reduce specialist standoffs, blockage, faster journey improvement, organize around customer outcomes. Okay. Automated scheduling, remove team-led scheduling bottleneck. Schedule queue times, faster payment, automate constraints, not merely tasks. Okay, this is a mix between like software stuff that we need to do and coaching stuff that we need to do. Event notifications, make appointments and changes, notification success, reliability is part of the customer value. All right. Payment recovery, give clear recovery after card failure, recovery completion, preserve completion design. Okay, inventory registration. Okay, so this is not really a practice roadmap, it's more like a software roadmap. Okay. Forecasting, capacity forecasting, anticipate full football season peaks, slot availability, protect conversion during peaks, use demand data to shape capacity. All right, subcontractor workflow, standardize assignment status, assignment lead time, more predictable installations, shared policies, build escalation, back office automation, remove paper and duplicate entry, manual touches, customer lower cost and delay, automation flows, workflow simplification. Basically it's going to be like yes, and AI follows automation. So basically it's something like this, like simplification, more important than automation, which is more important than AI. So that's basically the flow. So what you want is you want a simplified flow as much as possible, and then for the remaining flow you want a lot of automation. So basically document validation, scheduling, team scheduling, like the package delivery to teams, etc. Everything you want to make it automated. And if there's anything that actually needs some sort of validation, manual validation, you want it to be done via AI. So for example, let's say we send the customer an email and the customer replies to the email. If you can't automate that flow, which I highly doubt, you can actually have like a workflow agent sort through the emails and see, for example, which emails are acceptance emails, like I accept and this is good. I'm just giving you an example. This can be actually done with automation, and which ones need rescheduling. Or you can send an email to the customer when the crew says that they are finished, and you can ask the customer for feedback, and you can have the data interpreted by AI. I don't know. I don't actually. That's not. Yeah, maybe this could be some interesting use case for AI to just have it measure the data and see what where we are. But again, I don't see how this cannot be automated. Anyway, we'll have to think about this. A/B experiments, compare alternatives, experiment cycle time, treat features as hypothesis, SRE style reviews. So learn from failures, repeat incident rate, protect trust and revenue, reliability learning is product learning, yes. And outcome governance, review OKRs, flows, DORAs, decision latency, sustained adoption, and govern outcomes and evidence. not output value. Yeah, that's okay. It's fine. Alright, I'm still here. Okay, cool. So we have these figures here. They are not good. Okay, let's see what business OKR. I don't think it understands what an OKR is. First invoice revenue, paid subscriptions times average price. This should be something like revenue per month, I think. First subscription revenue per month. Okay, application to payment conversion, successful payments divided by application started. Yeah, focus on completed. Okay, median time to yes, median hours from application start to successful payment, leading. Okay, customer flow, digital completion share. Completed without staff intervention. Okay, track removal of manual handoffs. DORA deployment frequency, lead time for changes commit to production, change failure rate, and recovery time. Alright, this is pretty good. It's not bad. It's not what I wanted, but it's not bad. Alright, let's start talking to it. Okay, we're closing this. Alright. Not bad for a first try. Now, I think you misunderstood me. I wanted to really see the chain of causality between how fast you can deploy to your customers using metrics and telemetry to figure out how to change the system once it's online versus releasing slowly and not measuring the outcomes. So I think we need to redo the Excel, reminding you that you are a business agility expert. You understand agile, you have experience in hybrid environments, and you want to show this model to the tech board of a telecom company so that they can understand the benefits of working Agile and adopting business agility and DevOps practices like OKRs and DORA metrics. I've made some notes in the document, and I've given you more context. What I would like to see is how changing the delivery metrics would affect the business outcomes. For example, what is the business impact of releasing once per week versus the business impact of releasing once per year? What is the measurable business difference here? Is this something that businesses should really improve? If yes, then can we mathematically demonstrate it? So this is what I think Agile coaches lack. They can't really speak the board's language. So a CFO or a COO would like you to really understand business metrics. They have an idea that, you know, releasing faster to the customers is better. I mean, nobody will necessarily argue that point with you unless they go on the quality side and they tell you, yeah, but releasing faster is actually introducing more risks because we have more variables, because blah blah blah. But in general, people like to see numbers, and this is what I'm kind of trying to build here. I'm trying to build a model that shows people what is the business impact of actually doing Agile, which I think is kind of cool. All right. Alright, Excel. And what I also would like to So I added those two there, and what I want is I want this document to be a proof of causation. So that assumption is false. Okay, I think I'm going to stay for about 40 more minutes, something like that, and then I'm going to close. Let's see how much ground we can cover with AI in this space. So I want the Excel to be a proof of causation. Tell me if this is wrong. Where am I making mistakes? Strawman the argument. Not strong. Steelman the argument. So in critical thinking and judgment based systems, strawmanning means making the counter argument seem less valid, while steelmanning it is trying to make the argument as valid as possible. All right. Let's see what it replies. You are directionally right, but proof of causation is too strong. We can mathematically demonstrate the economic mechanism, but an Excel model cannot prove that weekly deployment causes higher revenue rates. No, but it causes faster learning. But it directly causes faster learning. Okay. DORA research identifies predictive pathways between delivery capabilities and software delivery performance and organizational outcomes. However, company-specific causation requires observations and experiments. We agree. The Stillman frequent safe releases create more opportunities to test hypotheses, measure conversion using telemetry, stop unsuccessful changes, improve successful changes, generate benefits earlier, reduce batch size. Okay. The economic advantage is more validated learning cycles and earlier benefit realization, not deployment frequency itself. Yes. Example. Annual release, one opportunity to learn, benefits delayed to 12 months, large batch and free feedback delay. Okay. Failure may invalidate many assumptions. Yes, that's true. Weekly release, up to 52 learning opportunities, benefits can begin earlier, smaller changes improve attribution. Unsuccessful experiments can be stopped sooner, but 52 deployments does not mean 52 successful experiments. No, but it means that you're not running your company on luck. That's actually the point. Okay. Proposed causal model, release frequency times percentage containing measurable experiments times experiment success rate, average conversion improvement, remaining benefit months, eligible customer volume, revenue per conversion minus delivery and failure costs equals estimated economic impact. Actually, I like the model. So I really love the causal model, because basically this is it. You have an experiment success rate. Now the big problem with agile transformations and waterfall leaders, they don't like the word experiment. Actually, that's one of the big problems that we have very often in agile transformations, is that usually the customers that start agile transformations, they are not metrics driven, but they are ego driven. So if they want something implemented, it's their reputation on the line. They are not confident enough to say, hey, yeah, maybe this implementation might be wrong. Let's first test some hypothesis and then figure out where we go from there, or even if we want to implement that. The problem is that leaders often don't like leaders. The problem. Okay, I like the causal model. What should we do if we want to show this model to leaders that are waterfall leaders, and we want to, and they want to transform to agile, but they resist the idea that but they resist the fact that their ideas are just hypotheses which need to be tested by the market, and they want full-fledged implementations from the get-go. All right. DORA metrics would control the learning cycle, capacity and risk. Yes. Deployment frequency, development. Okay. Change lead time, delay before learning. Yes, this is exactly it. Change failure rate, loss disrupted, experiments, recovery time, duration and cost reduction, telemetry coverage, percentage of releases, producing void elements. Turn content into shareable page. Save this content as an AI and power page, edit it and refine it with Copilot and share it with your team. I don't know what this is. I'm gonna click it. So sorry. Get help with your upgrade answers relevant to your work. Thank you. I'll just click for fun. I'll see what this means. It's just derailing my experience, but let's see. Request license, get done with a license, collaborate using work data, search draft, read that, Refine your emails, docs, and more. Save time recapping and catching conversations. I pay you money already. Quest license. What is this? Okay. My admin just got notified. Okay. I think I'm gonna close this. So we have, I think there's something like Microsoft Pages and okay. All right, cool. Enough disruptions. Let's focus. So, should the model compare annual, quarterly, monthly, bi-weekly, and weekly releases? Oh, stop. Okay, cool. Of course, it always says that I'm right. That's why you shouldn't trust AI. So 1, should the model compare? Yes. 2, should unsuccessful experiments produce zero benefit or negative impact or both? Have a random associated to it, but yeah, sometimes it's no, sometimes it's both negative, sometimes it's negative. Should so according to a Microsoft research, 1 in 3 features produces the intended outcome. 1 in 3 produces no outcome at all, or below target, below expectations, and 1/3 produces negative outcomes. So you can have a 33% chance, 50% chance that a failed experiment produces either a negative or no impact. There's a 33% chance that an experiment is positive. Alright, 3. What percentage of releases should contain measurable customer experiments? What percentage of releases? 33%. Let's say 70%. No, let's do 80%. Alright, 4. Should benefits accumulate after every successful? Yes. 5. Should later experiments have diminishing returns? To some extent, yes, but so on very specific features. So basically what you want is you can have these product themes or these, let's say, areas of improvement, or however you want to call them, product streams. And what you can figure out is that at some point the investment that you're making is not really worth the improvement that you're doing. So at some point it's just better to let the area continue as it is, because it's just not economically beneficial to continue to improve in it. So must 20%, should 30%, could 30%, and would 20%. The last 20% is okay. 6. Include development incident and delay costs. Yes. 7. Model one team or multiple teams sharing the same release pipelines. Multiple teams. 8. Should we use Monte Carlo ranges to represent uncertainty? Okay, so I haven't used Monte Carlo that much. I've seen people swear by it. What Monte Carlo tries to do is it tries to kind of predict what is the certainty versus uncertainty of, for example, estimations or getting business results. Yes, I haven't used it myself. Give me in principle, yes. Give me more details on it. We might not use it if it complicates the understanding of the model. Alright, 9. What notes did you add? Can you upload the annotated workbook? Oh, it's this. Let's see if it has access. Do you have access to this? You should have access to it. It's on Notes. It's on OneDrive. Any other questions? Right, on the mechanism, frequent releases do not directly, directly increases frequency of market feedback and management decisions. All right, cool. Telemetry converts releases into evidence. Without telemetry, weekly deployment is merely faster output. Yeah, I access your okay, and I see your annotations. So SharePoint link is unnecessary. Okay, cool. Experiment. Okay. Market validated outcome distribution. All right, market validation. I like this concept because experiment just seems childish. I'm sorry, cite this out there. Experiment just seems childish. Use market validated outcome distribution. Positive outcome, inconclusive, no material outcome, negative outcome. For executives, call it evidence yield per release. All right. This measures the percentages of releases producing decision quality evidence, not merely positive results. Okay, negative and neutral results still create value when they prevent further investment. Yes, that's true. Microsoft's experimentation platform explicitly positions experimentation as a mechanism for moving from ideas to trustworthy evidence and accelerated innovation. Important correction to your probability and assumption. Your proposed distribution says that is already a complete distribution. The additional 50% chance negative is unnecessary. Okay, so 33, and yeah, sure, practically these are equivalent after rounding. However, I would like to make this as yes, that's cool. So deployments, instrument, it releases, evidence, yield, validation, learning events, validated learning experiments, decision implementation rate and decision latency, applied learning, outcome distribution, Moscow economic impact, months remaining, okay, gross business impact. This is actually good. Let's see what else we have here. So basically this is the chain of causality, right? The number of deployments actually, and of course if we have evidence, right? So let's say we don't have telemetry on everything that we do, but let's say on 80% of what we do have evidence. We have validated learning events. Validated learning events actually means applied learning, hopefully, right? So basically you see what the customer does, you understand something new about the customer, and then this should have an impact on your gross business. And then you have gross business impact, delivery costs, incidents, negative outcome exposure, delay, cost, and this is the net economic impact. Monte Carlo simplified explain. Okay, instead of pretending every third release succeeds predictably, Monte Carlo runs the model hundreds and thousands of times. Each release randomly produces positive, negative, neutral. The board then sees expected economic outcome, downside risk, upside range, probability of achieving the OKR, strengthens the argument Agile does not guarantee success. It increases learning opportunities and dependence on large bets. I recommend including Monte Carlo on a separate optional sheet while keeping the main board model deterministic and understandable. Fine. Final questions before rebuilding. For negative releases, should telemetry enable rollback if next schedule release or immediately after recovery time assumption? Question 1 is the second option. So what this asks me is, if I release once per week, should I wait until the next release or should I do it immediately? And let's say, so if you look at the state of DevOps, there are like 4 categories, and the high performing teams release once per week, and the excellent teams release multiple times per day, while the laggards and the low performers actually release more, release on a frequency that's higher than once per week, no, lower than once per week, so maybe once per month, or once every 3 months, or once every 6 months. And what we see is that, they are not yielding economic output. Okay, should waterfall have exactly 3 releases in months? Yeah, let's do it like that. Should hybrid have 6? Yeah. Agile at 4-month releases? Yes. 5. Should most features have higher than expected, but also higher implementation cost? Nope. It's Pareto 2080. Which means that after the critical 20%, the rest of the implementation has more and more diminishing returns. Alright, cool. 6. Should the 80% instrumentation rate apply equally, or should waterfall have lower telemetry? Lower. Waterfall should not even have telemetry other than the invoicing. 7. How many teams share the pipeline? Should release velocity contain 4 releases monthly regardless of team count? Well, let's say we have a 5-team product ecosystem. Actually, let's make it 8-team product ecosystem that synchronizes the releases to once per week. Alright, cool. 8. Should negative customer impact remain active until rollback fix? 8. No. So rollback fix applies, but it's different in Agile, Hybrid, and Waterfall. Agile, it's 24 hours and it will decrease with every release to 1 up to 1 hour. Hybrid, it's 1 week and it will decrease to 3 days. Waterfall will stay at 2 weeks. Okay, the reason why I'm doing this is because the more features you release, the higher the risk and the lower the probability that you'll identify what the problem is fast. So the smaller the release, the faster you figure out what's wrong, the faster you'll solve it. The bigger the release, and the easier it will be to roll back. The bigger the release, the tougher it will be to do it. Okay. Should negative customer impact remain active until rollback fix creating lost conversions? Okay, so negative conversions, negative no, loss conversions will apply until the rollback is applied. Okay, cool. 9. Should the headline board net revenue, probability of achieving the OKR, economic value, or all three? Net revenue. Any other questions? Alright, let's see what it comes up with. I need to ask about telemetry hybrid costs, magnitude of negative Moscow. Okay. Okay, so 1. Hybrid telemetry, 50% acceptable. No, you start with 0 and gradually work to 50%. Let's do it like that too. Agile, 80%. Yeah, you can also start with 50% and increase it to 80%. All right, 3. Confirm ecosystem releases 4 monthly total, not 4 per team. Confirmed. 5. Delivery cost per team per month. Well, 8 people at $250 per day. Let's put it this way. It's a blended cost. 6. Delivery cost per team per month. Damn. It's making me feel bad. I should know this. Well, oh, I wrote this. So I think it's not 8 to 50. That's 4K. Yeah, no, that's 2K. 2K per day times 8. That's 16K times 20. That's about $300,000 per month, I think. Okay. There's no answer to 4. Okay. What conversion reduction? Let's say, well, it's between 10% and 50%, depending on incident type. 6. Incident cost per hour. I actually don't know. What should I tell them? Incident cost per hour. Okay, let's make a decision here. Let's say we have about 20 people or 15 people working on the incident. I've seen this happen. So it's 200. Let me do 240 so that it's mathematically okay. You can divide it by 8, so 30, 20, so about 20 people working at $30 per hour, and plus the negative customer impact and customer first invoice or customer lifetime value on a random chance. So the reason why I'm saying this is because if you have these big production incidents, and especially if you're working with multiple teams, then you have a lot of people that are anchored to solve the problem. Again, I've seen chats where it's between 10 and 20 people that actually log in and look at the incident and try to fix it. So it's a lot. It's very heavy, especially for waterfall teams. And on top of that, you have the negative customer downside, which is the percentage that we set above. Okay, on 7, net revenue, first invoice only subscription. So either on a random. Any other questions? Okay, what is the customer lifetime value? Is this correct? Because 240, yeah. One a customer that subscribes stays with the company for an average of 4 years. Let's just say 4 years. Okay, 2, assuming 20 working days. I assume it's correct. Come on. So 240 times 20 times 8 times 8. Yep, that's correct. I wish it would work. Alright, should the invoice versus lifetime value loss be user selectable, not random, to keep board compare? Yes. 4. Use a $15 hour average instant labor cost. Specify $30, so nope. It's 300 to 600 per hour. Sure. Run 1000 simulations. Any other questions? All right. So I know this math thing might be boring, but basically, if you want to talk to board people, right? And remember, these are people that usually understand IT operations very well. They have grown from working in IT related environments, and that's how they got their position in the first place. So they might even know Agile to some extent better than you do, but they are also faced with other constraints like managing the budget and trying to make the most out of the economic inputs and the team that they have. So this means that to some extent you have to understand how to speak the business language, how to speak numbers, how to figure out what they want and what in fact will affect their bonus, because actually that's what the game is all about. Figure out what stimulates the board's bonus and just do that, and you should be fine. And that's the point. All right, let's see. It's generating. It's a lot of work, I think. It's trying to do some stuff. So I think that this is mostly true. We'll see if it wants to regenerate this. But the chain of impact should be this. Yes, agile practices, improved ROI metrics, better operational outcomes, better customer and process outcomes, and then better business outcomes or OKRs. So that should be the chain of causality. But again, correlation is not causation. And experiments, cohort analysis, and continuous measurement should validate impact. Yeah. So delivery capability, operational outcomes to business outcomes. That's basically it. All right, it's doing some coding. So just to give you a schema, so it's something like this. So you have OKRs, which, or let's put it this way, you have business indicators. This is what the business sees, right? So business sees business indicators. These business indicators should translate into IT focused OKRs. Basically, and these IT focused OKRs usually turn into initiatives or epics. And basically these epics or initiatives, they are supported by DORA metrics. And agile practices actually support DORA metrics, and they also support the business part. So that's basically it. That's the schema. Just to give you some color. So that's it. Like, you have agile practices on OKRs, you have agile practices on initiatives and epics, and you have DORA metrics. Actually, OKRs haven't been invented in an agile environment, but various companies have adopted OKRs for enhancing their agile practice. So it's good. So you have Scrum, XP, DevOps, right? And then you also have OKRs. So they didn't start as an agile practice, OKRs, but they have been widely adopted by the community. Alright, let's see what it did. Let's see what it did, guys. Board summary. And there we go. Okay, let's see. This is interesting. It's very interesting that we still get 4 million, but why do we get such a big gross revenue? All right, so I think we're good for now. I think next time we'll analyze what AI did, because I'm really curious to see how it ran its judgment through this, and I really want to see what's going on and how come these are so similar. I'm really curious. I was expecting a much broader discrepancy between agile and waterfall, given all the factors that we've given. But yeah, it is what it is. But I really like this new model now, and I want to see how we can play with it, because that's the point. Seeing what actually creates value and what doesn't create value. All right, cool. So thank you guys for watching. It's been awesome. Remember that, you know, business agility is actually the key, and it will save a lot of businesses. So this is how I personally use AI to do very complex thinking stuff. And what I do is I get these complex models, and then I kind of translate them into very simple concepts for the people that are within my transformations, and show them how, you know, if they improve a certain practice there, what is the expected outcome, and how they should start thinking about the way they develop. Right, I use this this way of doing things to improve automated deployment, improve testing, improve story splitting, and try to get people to release more often, and make the results more meaningful. So thank you guys for watching, and see you next